It's Friday and international break is over. West Ham are back and we are here with another edition of Friday Night Pint live here tonight. Ryan and Nikki back. There's three of us on the show. Seems like it's been a long time. It was me and Ryan and for the longest time, and Scott would pop up occasionally, but Nikki is back. And
it's got to be the first time for a while, isn't it? Three of us.
Yeah, it feels like it.
Yeah, it's been a long time. It's a typical mental Friday night. My lights are gone, so I'm living on I've got the light of Jesus beaming down on me, helping me out. So
I was going to say, if the light's gone, what is that light that's beaming down?
Nice. This is my light, normal lights, like woo. But I haven't got the light that goes behind the camera that shines down on me. It's gone. So yeah, this will do. This will do.
Yeah. It looks decent. It looks right anyway.
Yeah, like I said, international break is over, and West Ham are back. We got Fulham. We're talking a little bit about that game, and I said Sola. I forgot about him until I saw an article, and you think, do you know what? Could he start? Could Sola start? Also, we seem to be full crew. Seem to have potentially picked up an injury on the international break, so he's a doubt for tomorrow. So we'll talk a little bit about that. He did score a goal, which was good, but a lot of people complained about the international breaks. But let's get straight into it then. This Fulham game for me, this is a big one. We beat Palace away. We come up with some really hard games, but this is a winnable game. It's a tough game, but it's a winnable game, and I think 3 points here is crucial. And this is a chance we could potentially see us flex our muscles and really go for it and really give them a game. And that midfield is key. We've got quite a few options there, but I think only one option with Sola seems to really fit how Lopetegui wants to play. So it wouldn't surprise. I mean, obviously, he has slow burned a few players, but I could potentially see him coming straight in, seeing how he fits. And Lopetegui has come out and said that he's impressed him in the 2 weeks that he's been here, and he's given everything in training. He's looked good. So potentially he could feature, but should he? That's the question.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's nice for Lopetegui to obviously have a few of the players stay behind and go away. I think it might be a bit too soon to start in the Premier League. I'll be very surprised if he does start him, Soler. I think he'll probably go with Alvarez and Rodriguez. Pretty similar to what we've seen. Fulham have had a similar start. They're one place above us, 1 point above us. They lost opening day. They beat Leicester at home and drew with Ipswich in their last game. They've got a good team, got some good players. It'll be a tough game. Listen, we know last season when we went there, we got battered 5-0. Probably one of the worst performances I've seen from a West Ham team in a very long time. Fulham ain't no mugs, but I'm confident we're going to go there tomorrow and pick up the 3 points.
I wouldn't put him in straight away. I mean, there's loads of changes already that Lopetegui's brought in. Obviously, like when you've got that sort of mix of player, you have to sort of like do it slowly, because too much change can be disaster. We've seen that before. I don't know. I'm quite happy with the way we're playing. I know that we didn't get a result against Villa. I know that we didn't get a result against City, but I think the balance is right at the moment. I don't see like that there's got to be like wholesale changes. No, I wouldn't start him, but yeah, I think we can still go there and get 3 points.
Yeah. I think you're on mute, right? Or is that me?
No, I did. Yeah, it's all going wrong, isn't it? I said it a few weeks ago. It's going to take about 10 games for Lopetegui to finally realise what his best starting 11 is. We're starting to see glimpses of it now. We know Wan-Bissaka is going to be first choice right back, 100%. Obviously, Kilman, who's going to play alongside him. We might see Tadibo start tomorrow. He's had a couple of weeks on the training ground, getting his fitness up. I said it when he started against Bournemouth. There was a reason why he was dragged off at half time. He looked out of shape. But look, he's new to English football. I'm not going to criticise him, because I think he's going to be a good player for us. Whether Somerville might get a start against Fulham, I don't know. It's he's got some good headaches. It's a good headache for a manager to have.
It's one that we haven't had in a while, isn't it? Like choices from the bench. You see against Palace that the bench was like crucial. You know, Wan-Bissaka come on, Fulkrug come on, and they basically won us the game. And it's something that we ain't had under Moyes for a long, long time. And I think when you look at Premier League football, I mean, that was my criticism of Moyes all through his tenure, is that we didn't have any options. You know, we went one way, and if it didn't work, you know, it didn't work. And he had very little options. But the Premier League is about squads. You look at the Man Cities, you look at the Arsenals. They've got players that can sort of integrate into squads. I think that's what you've got to do. I don't think it's important for him to start. I mean, what do you do with you know, players like Souček? You know, he's obviously got his criticism, but you know, they've got to have their chances to impress the manager as well. It's very tempting to bring players in and sort of chuck them straight in because of, you know, the new exciting thing. But you know, squads are important, and I think everybody within that squad deserves a chance. Like the ones that have stayed, deserves a chance to show the manager what he can do. So I won't be too hasty to chuck him in, but you know, it's differences of styles of play, it's differences of personnel, it's differences of sort of attacking options, defensive options, and I think it's important.
Well, I think a lot of players they have a chance. I would lean towards starting him. I think Souček has had a chance. I think he has had a chance personally. Like, we've seen him, what he can do. We've seen what he can do previously. We see what he can do under Lopetegui, right? And I think, and I've said, he potentially has a place in this team coming off the bench, right? As that late coming on Fellaini maybe type. But, you know, Sola, it doesn't so much become about, you know, opportunities. It just, to me, he's the one that fits how we want to play the most. You know, Rodriguez, I think, is more of, he hasn't massively stood out, but I think him playing with Alvarez, I think they're just too similar. They're too. I would have Rodriguez as the backup to Alvarez, and Sola can do a little bit more of that, you know, traditional centre midfielder. So you've got a nice pair with Alvarez and Sola. So I think if he's fit enough, I'd play him. Like, he's played football at the highest level. He's played international football. So for me, it just comes down to fitness, because if he is fit, then he can do that role and he understands what Lopetegui wants to do. He's worked with Lopetegui before, I believe. I think he was at Prepare when he was at Spain. I think it was. So yeah, like, I would start him. I'm not saying it's crucial, like he must start or we won't get anything, but at the very least, I think this could be a game where he could come off the bench and get some minutes. Like, if he is going to be that guy, we want to start to get to that point sooner rather than later, because a midfield, like the midfield with Souček and Alvarez, like as a midfield, it just does, the balance there is off for me. So I
100% agree with you on the Rodriguez comparison. I think that him and Alvarez are a bit similar. I'd rather start Rodriguez than Souček. As you said, I agree. Look, Souček has got a part to play in this season, but I agree. I think it's going to be from the bench. But in the first couple of games, he was involved, like winning the penalty, you know, scoring. So, but yeah, with Soler, I just think it's going to be a bit too soon for him to start. I think he will be on the bench and he probably will come on tomorrow. Don't forget, next week we've got the away game at Liverpool in the Carabao Cup, so he'll probably get a start there. Nice for him to get at least 70, 80 minutes in that game. But yeah, the interesting thing for me tomorrow is going to be who starts up front, because obviously Fulkrug looks like he's out. Does he start with Bowen up top? Maybe bring Somerville in, move Kudus to the right, and have Paquetá in the middle. It's something that Scott touched upon the other week to play like that, and I think that could work, especially with the way we want to play football. If it's going to be on the floor, you don't have to have the big 6'4" striker when you're playing on the floor.
Yeah, I agree. I'd like to see that Bowen, Kudus, Somerville, Paquetá, that sort of like interchangeable forward line, like a little bit like what Liverpool done the other year. You know, when they had like Firmino, Salah, Mane, and they just used to sort of rotate. I think we could get into a situation like that. I'm not against Antonio. And I think maybe
we had that
Fulham,
under Moyes, though, what you described. That not Somerville, but we had that interchangeable scenario with that front three for that first half of the season, especially when Bowen was sort of up.
But that was forced, and I don't think that was sort of like something that he'd worked on. It was just like putting square pegs into round holes.
It worked though, right?
Yeah, it definitely worked. And like there's like you got to go back to the beginning when Moyes first started. He like turned Arnautovic into a top centre forward from a winger. He's turned Antonio into a very capable centre forward, so he can do it. We can do it, but I'd like to see someone with a little bit more emphasis on that rotation, so they sort of work on it a little bit more. Obviously, I didn't mention Kudus as well. Kudus could definitely play up front. So yeah, there's just different options to take, and like as Ryan said, it's going to take about 10 games to really know what we've got, to get our foot down, to sort of like implement the style into the old players, to get a proper settled team, and know who can do what at what time. So I'm quite excited to see how this season pans out, because as I said, although we didn't get the result against Villa, which was a bit of a what's it? What do they call it? A damp squib? Is it damp squid?
Mm-hmm.
Damp squid?
Yes. Yeah.
And obviously City. I thought we played very well in at least a City game to get a point, and it was just a bit of a freak result. So we've got the likes of Tottenham coming up, we've got the likes of Chelsea coming up. I think we could really get into them, and like we don't leave London apart from that cup game or in and about London till November till we go to Forest. So it's somewhere where you can get to grips on it. You get a little bit more time on the training ground in and around London. You don't have to travel so far. So yeah, I'm quite excited to see where it goes.
I totally agree, mate. The thing is, in the Premier League, you got to start picking up the results. The performances can be much better, but if you're not picking up points, we can't be 10 games in saying, "Oh, it's much better," but we're sitting third from bottom with 4 points.
Yeah.
So we do have to start. Sometimes we have to go back to basics and just to win, especially when you play against the teams like, we've got, as you said, we've got Chelsea coming up, Tottenham coming up, difficult games, and sometimes it might be good to get out of London just to get new surroundings. But yeah, no, look, I've got no doubt that I've got confidence in Lopetegui, got confidence in the squad we've built. The players that we've brought in, I think that apart from probably the goalkeeper and probably the young Brazilian, I think all the others are good enough to be in the starting 11, and that's what you need. You need competition, especially if you're in the starting 11 and you're not having a good game, you're getting hooked. Then you got to work your way to get back in the team. I mean, you look at the bench now. I know you said against City. I mean, City on the other day could have been. I mean, they could have been 3 or 4 up. We rode our luck. But then we had that chance when Kudus hit the post that could have brought it back to 2-2. And yeah, you're right. We could have maybe nicked a point. But yeah, no, I've been impressed so far with what I've seen. There's been a lot of improvements there, but we do need to start to picking up points. And hopefully tomorrow, apart from last season, we've usually do well at Craven Cottage. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, we got to revenge that from last season, honestly. Like, I would love to go and slap them up. That would be very satisfying.
We got revenge over Palace, so let's get revenge over Fulham now. And then we owe Arsenal one. The teams that battered us last season.
I'm really happy with our back line going into this game. Like, compared to last season, you got Emerson and Wan-Bissaka as the fullbacks. I think Kilman has really been a standout player. And Mavropanos, he's been 50-50. But if Tadibo is up to fitness and he comes in, obviously he's highly rated. But, I think we're a lot more solid at the back now. So it gives me a little bit more.
We are solid, but we are short. We mentioned this last week. We was looking at Matip, and there's a couple of players we was looking at, 1 or 2 injuries. But no, I think Mavropanos has done really well. I quite warmed to Mavropanos at the end of last season, really. I thought he started off a bit shaky, but him and Zuma were solid. I think Kilman's just a step above Zuma, and that's not knocking Zuma. It was just his injuries in the end that sort of killed him. When I saw him at Dagenham come out with them 2 straps on his knees, you know, it like his career as a top flight footballer is finished. So the two fullbacks are the ones that excite me, because we've always had a sort of a weakness on one of the sides, and I think Emerson coming in a couple of seasons ago, he done really well, and he's like a good all round fullback. But I think Wan-Bissaka could be the signing of the season. I really do.
Yeah, I'm excited to see him start against Fulham.
I think Emerson was linked with a move, wasn't he, earlier in the week? There was a couple of Turkish clubs looking at him, but he said he's happy at West Ham. And yeah, we've got that nice bit of balance now. We've got two players. I think what it probably excites Bowen, and no disrespect to Soufal, is now he's got someone that he knows can overlap him, and he can get forward and help him out. We know how quick Wan-Bissaka is. He's one of the quickest right backs in the Premier League. So yeah, no, that's exciting to have down the right. And then down the left, obviously Emerson's been a brilliant signing for us. You know, and he always looks comfortable. He's comfortable going forward. He's comfortable defending. So it's about getting that centre-back pairing. What you're going to go with for the rest of the season. I mean, Kilman is obviously a starter, but it's whether you can get to Tebow alongside him or whether he sticks with Mavropanos. Mavropanos, he won't let you down, but to Tebow, I like the look of him. And once he gets to full fitness, I think we're going to have one hell of a centre-back pairing on us.
Yeah, I think the balance of the squad will be, you know, when you look at the quality that we've got all around it, you know, Wan-Bissaka, look, people say that Wan-Bissaka sort of fell off a little bit at Man United, but he's playing for Man United. Man United have, you know, they're in a bit of a mess at the moment. You know, they don't really know what they're doing. The manager don't really seem to have a direction. So, like, you know, he's sort of been refreshed a little bit. I think Emerson's of good quality. But yeah, a centre-back pairing of Kilman, who for me, he's already proven himself, and Tadibo, who looks like that little class above. Then you've got the likes of Kudus, Paquetá. It is exciting. There was a guy on a fan cam the other week. I don't know whether you saw it, Ryan, but he come over and he just started ranting at the camera. Do you remember him, Dan? When he just come over and saying, we're building something, you know. So people are sort of noticing, and they're not sort of demanding that it changes straight away. But you know, there is an uplift of quality in the whole squad, and it's there's something building there. I've got a feeling that it's going to be like a decent season.
Let's get some of these comments. John says midfield of Alvarez, Rodriguez, and Soler, Paquetá left wing, Kudus right wing, Bowen up top. Yeah, that'd be interesting. Yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing that
tomorrow. To be fair, I could say.
Yeah, I mean tomorrow.
The problem is with that is I like it sounds good, but Paquetá for me he's not out on the left. He has to play in the centre. He pulls the strings. He dictates the midfield. He dictates the game. He picks out them passes. Chucking him out on the left, I don't think he enjoys it.
I would rather have him on the left than Kudus, to be fair. I think he's a much, obviously he played there quite a lot last season. Paquetá, he's got a bit of an understanding with Emerson, and both of them really, neither of them it's their ideal position. And this is the tricky thing. Like, to be honest, I would rather, you know, if I had to choose Paquetá to be either on the left, I would rather have him as a centre midfielder, like he plays for Brazil sometimes.
What, like deeper?
Deeper. So maybe you'd have Alvarez, Soler, and Paquetá, because Soler can also do a defensive role if we need to. Paquetá, like, he doesn't get enough credit for his defensive capabilities. He can put a tackle in, for sure. He's no Alvarez. But yeah, I would rather maybe see that, and then you have Kudus in the middle, and then Somerville on the left. But yeah, that's the sort of flexibility we've got and the options.
We've got a lot of
depth. Good old Dolbster's in the chat, guys. Dolbster. They've got Chelsea. No, they've got Spurs, haven't they? I think they've got one
Leicester
team. I'm sure Leicester have got.
I don't know.
No, Spurs have got. It's no North London derby. I don't know what I'm thinking.
Yeah, City have got Liverpool, haven't they, this week?
No, City have got Brentford. Liverpool have got Forest.
Right.
Yeah. We were all over the place. We were all over the shop. Lawrence Watkins says, my lineup.
I'm making Super Sundays early on in the season.
Yeah. Lawrence says, my lineup I would like, but will not happen, is 4-3-3. Areola, Emerson, Mavropanos, Wan-Bissaka, Alvarez. It's Wan-Bissaka's stupid nickname. It's honestly one of the worst fucking nicknames.
Spider.
because of his legs, isn't it? His legs, long legs. He picks the ball up or some shit like that.
I've never heard that nickname before.
8 limbs or something. I don't know. Yeah, it's
you
the
ever
worst.
heard that, right? Spider.
Yeah, it's his nickname. It's because of his legs, and yeah, I don't know.
Spider legs.
Yeah, that's the thing. So Alvarez, Paqueta, Sosola. I think is he saying Sosola in the 10? Interesting. I know he can play there. Somerville, Bowen, and Kudus. So we're saying Bowen up top. I think there's a few calls for that. Mr. C's in the chat. A better squad helps you to be able to adapt to different teams and to focus on tactics for every individual opposition teams. Yeah, spot on. And that's what we want to see. Shout out to Andy in the chat. It says, after watching Wan-Bissaka interview today, you said how strong Kudus is. I think he would handle himself down the middle. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, he don't look as comfortable on the left. I mean, he is traditionally, I think, a right winger, Kudus, but he can also play in those different positions.
I think he's been great this season, but the left definitely ain't his position. You can tell he's not as comfortable there as he is on the right. I'd like to see him in the 10, to be honest. If it was ever an option, I'd like to see him in the middle. I think he could really, like, with his shooting and that, I think he could pull the strings in there. But
100%. If we did play like we did against City, not the score, but the sense of fighting for points, and they look really good. Yeah, that's what we want to see. 100%. Some selection headache, probably likely to take a few weeks for Lopetegui to get his best team in place. I'm hoping we're getting slightly closer. I feel like as fans, we're starting to. If you asked us maybe a few weeks ago, we wouldn't have a clue, but we're starting to get there now. Nanny Dings won't get 5 this season, unfortunately. Nicky, don't agree with that.
Nanny Dings ain't got 5 since he got here, to be fair.
No.
Nanny Dings ain't got 5 minutes in his head, let alone 5 goals.
I was just about to say that, yeah.
According to you, Nicky, he's going to fucking be the most improved player.
I'm going to tell you, he's going to get a point to this season, right? And he's going to get a chance and he's going to take it. But it's got to be before January, because if it gets to January, I think he'll move, to be fair.
Yeah. Right, let's see.
He's living a life of luxury, man. He just turns up, has a little training session, gets a new Barnet, and he gets 125 grand a week for it.
To be fair, it's like, do you remember when Yarmolenko was here? Just before the stuff happened in Ukraine, we used to see. Do you remember, Rob? We used to go away games. He just used to be like swaying his hips from side to side, knocking the ball about, and he was getting 100 grand a week.
Remember when we played that team in the FA Cup? Was it Kidderminster? And he fell over.
Oh,
when Declan Rice scored the last minute winner.
Yeah. He fell over on. Was it on the line? When he tried to knock it in on the line and he fell over, didn't it? Or was he running through? I remember him falling over, but yeah, I remember watching him just before, like, when he was on his way out. And I remember watching him at half time. He was living the life a lot. He was like strolling around, just kicking the ball about, 100 grand a week, smiling. Didn't give a shit.
Bowen up front, Kudus on the right, Somerville on the left, and Paqueta attacking midfield. Sola and Alvarez. The rest pick themselves. Yes, a lot of good comments. A lot of people say, should our wingers come first?
Fair, I disagree with that. I don't think the rest do pick themselves. I think there's some serious competition. Like, think about the midfield. Like, you got Alvarez, Souček, Soler, Rodriguez.
No, he already said that. He said Alvarez and Soler. He said the rest pick themselves. So he's picked the midfield already.
I still
he's talking about the defence, essentially, pick themselves. Emerson picks himself. Wan-Bissaka picks himself. Kilman picks himself. I think Areola picks himself.
I still think there's competition there. I don't think they
You don't think Emerson picks himself?
Well, Emerson is the only one.
At Wan-Bissaka, no? You don't think he's...
Soufal can still do a job.
He can do a job.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean just because he can do a job, don't mean that Wan-Bissaka is not a no-brainer to start. Doesn't mean he's not clear.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, there's points of the season, mate, where it's not as clear as that. It's not as clear as day.
You need the thing is with us now is it's a bit like international football for us now, is that we've got a good enough squad that you need them to be ready to come on and change the game or help the team out. You know, there seems to be a good spirit around the camp. As you said, Wan-Bissaka's probably he will start, but you know, you've got a Soufal to come on as a as a decent option, as a backup for him. So same one. The only position I think we're weak is left back. Creswell.
Yeah, Creswell. Yeah.
He's I don't know. He's finished now, isn't he? Really? Yeah, he got injured in the warm up the other week, but I think it looks like
Clarence Booze has been on the same booze as you, Nick. I have a feeling Ings is going to surprise us all. He's gonna.
He's just a visionary. Just a visionary.
Yeah, just a visionary. He's got the vision.
Ryan's had a couple of shit. You remember when Ryan said a couple of years ago that Yarmolenko was going to have a major point in the season, and we was all laughing at him. And then what did he do? Scores the winner against.
Yeah, but that's Ryan. Ryan gets predictions right. You make bold predictions.
We've done it against Seville and Villa, if you remember.
And Villa, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. It's different. Ryan's predictions usually come true. Yours, we're gonna finish.
If you keep on shooting your shot, you're gonna hit the target at one time, aren't you? So you never know.
Yeah, the broken clock is right twice a day. You know, it's got to have batteries in it though. But yeah, so. Question here from Andy says, question, gents, been all over social media, not just West Ham players. Who do you think of your Barclaysmen will be? Throwback to Olivia Bernard, Newcastle, JJ Okocha, etc. Really good. So, I've seen all of this, but I don't know what the criteria is for a Barclays man.
I've seen,
What's the criteria?
I'm a bit lost with it. Maybe Google it quickly, Dan, because I don't understand it. I've seen people doing it, but I haven't really.
It seems like just players from back in the day, like because everyone's like, "Oh, Pint, Barclays, man." Like,
I think it's like players that are like, I don't know. I wouldn't say underrated if people are saying Pint, but I don't know, exciting players. I don't know.
Yeah,
let's have a look. I'm just having a look, see what it is. What is a Barclays man?
Criteria is to be a Barclays man.
Who was that player that we had that scored against City? When we beat him up to Park, and he scored when he fell in the crowd. Was it Amalfitano?
Amalfitano,
yeah. Lovely.
So, what is it just like bang average? Because it says Wayne Rooney doesn't count, but Jimmy Bullard does. JJ Okocha's one.
So it's sort of a cult hero. It's between 2001 and 2016 because it was the Barclays Premier League. It's like cult hero. So Wayne Rooney won't count. People like like the big players like Ryan Giggs and Thierry Henry, they don't count because they've already been lauded. But it's like somebody back in the day who was like a baller, but wasn't quite in that sort of. So I would say our one would. I don't know whether Payet counts because he was lauded all over the world when he played for us. Joe Cole,
like
early Joe Cole. Nah, definitely not.
I'm going to say Barami, whatever his name was.
Do you know what? Do you know what mine is? I'm going to tell you mine is Yossi Benayoun. Benayoun, very, very underrated player.
Yeah, according to this one, it's basically players between 2001 and 2016 who played for teams outside the Sky Six. That you could just name any West Ham player then between 2001 and 2016.
But I think you got to be a decent player. Joey O'Brien.
The Afro.
I don't know. He played for us.
The Afro.
Two-guy, yeah, he would have been one.
Two-guy was a baller, man. He scored some bangers for Blackburn. Two-guy.
Who was the geezer that used to go with Redknapp wherever he went?
Oh, Cranjar.
Cranjar, yeah, he was a baller as well. JJ Okocha was one, but my one was Benayoun. Benayoun for West Ham.
Downing, Harewood, Zamora, Alex Song, Diarme. Yeah, Diarme, I think, is a good shout. Although he ruined his career by leaving West Ham. Yeah. Do you remember Diarme for West Ham?
Yeah.
Like, he was a bit of a baller.
He left to join a top 6 club and he went to Hull and he never
heard of it. No, didn't he end up at Newcastle eventually?
After Hull, yeah. Hull,
but that was when Newcastle was in the Championship. He dropped.
I think he went down with him as well.
I thought he came up with it, but
I can't remember.
What he is between 2001 and 2016.
Yeah. So it was about the time when they sponsored the league.
You know what? And this is how out of it I am. I still thought it was the Barclays Premier League. I'd still been thinking of it as the Barclays Premier League.
Who is it now? I don't even know who it is.
Wasn't it Cadbury's for a bit? Cadbury's had it for a few years.
I don't think that was that. Was it?
Yeah, it was. No, it was the Cadbury's. I'm telling you.
No, I'm telling you. I don't remember it being the Cadbury's Premier League. I called it the Carling Premier League for ages.
Here we go. 2017. They were the ones who took it after 2016. Cadbury and Premier League will work together. It's great.
That's how good that sponsorship was. I didn't even get a chocolate bar on the way to the ground.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. Yeah, so yeah, I knew that was the thing. Yeah, Cadbury's Premier League. I missed the Coca-Cola Cup. Oh, it's not sponsored there. Yeah, bring back Coca-Cola Cup.
Yeah, Coca-Cola Cup, Worthington Cup. Yeah. Some people remember it as a milk cup. Yeah.
Milk cup.
It was a sponsorship for a Premier League for a trophy. There we go. There's a question.
Yeah, I think Coca-Cola was quite iconic for a trophy. But now you have just companies you never heard of, like Carabao. Like, no one's ever seen a can of Carabao like just in the shops.
You say that. I see one the other day. But one lone can just sitting in the middle of the fridge.
Did you try it? Has anyone tried it? You tried?
Nah, I don't drink them energy drinks anymore, man. I can't drink
Barclays, man. Freddie Canute is a good one.
Yeah, we should have one just for 2017. We should have Cadbury's man. We should start that one, and just for players that were good that year.
Who's your Cadbury's man then? Was
2017?
17.
2017. That was when Bilic was in charge, and I think it could be right because we melted in the summer like fucking chocolate.
17, 18, wouldn't it?
17 would be the one where we went into the, or was it the year before when we went into the
Faguli? He could be a Cadbury's man. Faguli.
What about Nautovich? Was he 17?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I'll have him then.
That was the first year that Moyes come to us, wasn't it?
Yeah, 17, 18 season, wasn't it? That was one. But you know what? Like I see, for talking about Fulkrug here, he played obviously for Germany, scored his goal. And people look at it and will say, "Oh, it's just a tap in." But his movement, positioning, his ability to read the game, people don't pick up on them skills, and I think that's important. But he's obviously got injured away from home, and it's a shame. And I see some people using it as a stick to beat Lopetegui with. Like, if only Lopetegui had been playing him more, he'd been match fit enough, and he wouldn't have got injured. Like, that's some of the...
Who was saying that?
West Ham fans?
Your ginger mate was... I mean,
look, if we was 10 games into the season, we're 3 games into the season, so I don't see how you can use him anymore. You know, he's not going to start and play a full 90 minutes every game, Fulkrug, because he's not up to the fitness levels of the Premier League yet. As I said, if it was people say about getting rid of international football, you can't get rid of international football. You know, as much as we enjoy the Premier League, and it's a distraction sometimes, you still need international football. So it's part and parcel of, like, it's not like it's just appeared. It's not like you've just gone, oh, fuck me, we've got international football. What's that? We've had it for years. It's been around as long as we can all remember. So
the only thing I would say, I think because we've had the tournament and like some players have come back late, I don't think it's smart to have it like 3 games into a season. Maybe they could have delayed it to the end of next month.
I totally get that. They could have left it till sort of like maybe the end of September, middle of October. Like at least get 6 or 7 games in first. But it is where it is. Like players go away, you know, and they pick up injuries. You know, Bowen's been played every near enough every minute. He could have picked up an injury. I don't think it comes down to because he ain't playing. I just think it's unlucky. You know, anyone can pick up an injury. It was nice to see.
I think it was tendonitis anyway, which is like a natural thing, which happens over time. I think it comes back. He had tendonitis. I've got tendonitis. It's just like a lump that develops on the back of your Achilles. It's painful, but it's not something that pops up because of an injury. It's something that develops over time when you're overusing your Achilles and that. So I think lots of footballers get them sort of injuries. They're just wear and tear.
If he's not available for Fulham, it sounds like that's the only game he'll miss. Based on, I'm just going what Lopetegui said. From what Lopetegui said, is it's not like bad. Like he's touch and go for this game, so
Yeah,
it could be bad for the Chelsea game.
It's like a lump that develops on the back of your Achilles, where you keep on. It goes backwards and forwards, and like a little bit of swelling, bit of rest. That's all it is. But it's just like a natural wear and tear thing. You get it as you get older. You know, it is painful and it does restrict the way you movement, but it's not serious and it's not something that can.
Dino makes a good point here. It's all about the Nations League because I guess that's what it is. They're playing this break was the Nations League and it's a load of bollocks. Who cares who wins that? Yeah, it's like obviously look, international football. Like I said, look, the Euros, the World Cup, you can't get rid of that. Those are massively important around the world, big, and then you need to have like qualifiers and things like that, but. I don't know whether this is added international football or they've just replaced the international friendlies with the Nations League. I can't. If anyone can check that, is if they've added.
There's hardly any friendlies. The Nation League is to make it more friendlies, more competitive. But if you win your group, like Group A, you automatically go into the tournament, so you don't have to qualify. So there is something to play for. England. England had to drop because we haven't. When we won the other night against Finland at home, that was our first home win in the Nations League since 2020. We don't do well in the Nations League. That's why we dropped down to Group B. So it adds a little bit of it. Because I used to hate international friendlies. I used to hate it when England would go and play someone like Costa Rica and win 6-0 and everyone gets buzzing and we're going to win everything. When you play a bit more competitive, it gives you something better to play for. So
do you think it's good for nations like England though, right? England, Italy, say Holland, them big nations. Do you think it's good for them because like they're going to qualify anyway? They're going to qualify through their through their groups. So is it good or bad to have people like someone like Finland for example, or not Norway that are taking it a bit more seriously than you? They're flying into tackles and all of that sort of thing because they see that as a way into the tournament.
No, football's football, mate. England should be flying in with the tackles as well.
They should, but they don't.
Don't dance around. Like that's why you get injured when you put dance around. Like England. I mean, I watched England the other night, and it was quite a decent game to be fair. Finland made it hard for us, but look, England have got the quality. When you've got a player like Harry Kane making his 100th appearance, just tapping them in, and then. You look at the likes of Grealish coming. I mean, that game last week at Republic of Ireland, we should have slipped up. We went out there and just took the piss out of them.
What do you think about this, like Rice not celebrating business? I just looked at that and I thought he's such a PR merchant. He should have just.
I don't get the fuss about it because at the end of the day, the guy he played for Ireland. He got the opportunity to play for Ireland. But he still was within his rights to go and play for England. He got brought up. We've gone over this when he moved, but he got brought up in England. He's as much English as he is Irish. He got the opportunity. He took the opportunity.
He's more English than he's Irish.
Well, yeah, but this is the thing. But he'd already played for Ireland, right? So he played for Ireland through the youth and all that. So when he got the opportunity to play for England, he still had the option on the table. Look, I understand it can be seen. I've seen like. People like Simon Jordan and Martin Keown having arguments over it, and they're saying, "Oh, he shouldn't do." Listen, at the end of the day, it's a mark of respect, and you see two very different sides of the coin. You see him who refused to celebrate, and then you see Jack Grealish running in front of him, putting his hands in his fingers in his ears.
He was the one they had the least problem with because he didn't play senior level. Like Rice played senior level. And look, you understand there's a history there with Ireland and England. There's a rivalry there, and for him to be like up the raw and all of this stuff he was doing, and I can't wait to play England. We're going to do it, and then it's not like changing teams, and then all of a sudden like the opportunity comes on, and now he's English. It's just you have to understand why the Irish obviously were so outraged.
Sorry,
I'll be honest, mate. I'm thinking, look, as much as I love Declan Rice playing for England, I'm glad there's a part of me, I don't agree with you play for Ireland, you play for Ireland. I think he chose that, and then he's obviously been tapped up by England. In a way, of course, I'm glad. I'm an England fan. I want the best players to play for England. Rice is one of the best players in the world in his position. But I think once you pull on that Ireland shirt, that's your choice. I hate to see it like if it's the other way around.
I do agree.
Yeah.
I think once you do pull on the shirt, I think that should be it. I think you should make your commitment. But at the moment, the rules are you can play a senior game for Ireland as long as it's not competitive. You can change. And I see Simon Jordan the other day saying about, he's only doing it for Declan Rice. Well, who else is he going to do it for? He's not going to do it for anyone else, is he? He's playing football for Declan Rice. He's not playing football for anyone else. So.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I think a lot of it, what he does is PR and performative, and this is my country. Like I said, country. You play for your country. It's supposed to be seen as a big honour. He's taken caps off of an Irishman, and that's why I respect Mark Noble so much. Is he had the opportunity to play for Ireland when he couldn't get into England, and he didn't do it out of respect, and that's why I rate him as a. But
let's be honest. They do the same thing. They took Cascarino. Cascarino wasn't even fucking Irish. You know what I mean? He wasn't even eligible to play for him. They've took so many Englishmen. They've taken advantage of the rule the other way. So,
but no one's saying that you can't do it. No one's saying they shouldn't do it. It's just if you play for it, you don't flip flop.
If Rice would have never have played for Ireland, then it'd be different. I mean, as you said, Cascarino. So some of these players that no disrespect, but they're not good enough to play for England, so they go and search their family history, see if they've got Irish, Welsh, fucking Scottish grandparents, and then go and play. We've seen that, down the years. There's a lot of English players that have done it. A fair play to them, they want to play international football. I couldn't think of anything better than representing your country at international football. But for me, and I just, as much as I love Rice and I think he's been brilliant for England, I think that once you pull on that Ireland shirt, that's your choice, and you got to stick with it. Ryan Giggs could have played for England, but he chose to play for Wales because he's Welsh. He wanted to represent Wales. Imagine what England could have done if we'd have had Giggs in our golden generation.
Yeah. I think Bale was eligible to play for England as well, actually.
So was Haaland.
Haaland. Yeah,
Haaland would have played for England. Imagine that.
Yeah, imagine
him being when Kane retires, he's going to be the number one. But
big shame. This is a good point Alex makes. Antonio going to Jamaica isn't helping his chances of starting. Yeah, because he played last night, didn't he, for Jamaica? Scored a penalty, I believe. So it's very highly unlikely. I think it was last night. I think it was yesterday or the night before.
It was I think it was Wednesday night they played.
Wednesday night, yeah. So he's playing.
Was it in Jamaica?
I don't think the game was in Jamaica. I think it was away. It was, but it would have been in that. It'd have been in the Americas or something, or the Caribbean or the Americas, wouldn't it? Jamaica.
I mean, look,
I think Honduras.
You forget
Honduras.
That Antonio got called up for England, and then he's gone to play for Jamaica, But he never played for England. He never come on. So,
yeah, and it's not like the thing is the difference between him and Rice. It's not like. He probably knew that he never would have got the opportunity to play for England, really. So he's going to play for Jamaica. But Rice would have been the main man in the Ireland team. He would have been a massive figure, and he's kind of left him in the lurch. So it is a bit...
I remember Shaka Hislop being called up for England and being on the bench when we had a goalkeeper shortage.
It's like Creswell was called up, wasn't he? But he never went and saw out his family. But Honduras away, So Honduras, that's
it's a fair away.
Yeah. So this is the thing now. Obviously, Fulkrug is very much a doubt. Antonio, I can't see him being fit enough to start. He never usually is in any shape to start after these Jamaican international trips. So what the lineup everyone's saying really is kind of going to have to be unless Nanny Dings starts.
I don't think Nanny Dings is going to start, but.
No, I think. I think. Look, if Antonio's got jet lag or whatever, I mean, Bowen's your first choice to start up top. Danny. I wouldn't start with Danny Ings. But yeah, look, we spoke about it earlier, mate. It's going to be a difficult game tomorrow. I mean, Fulham had a decent season last year. They've got a good manager, Marco Silva. They've made some good signings. Smith Rowe, I think, is a brilliant signing. Honestly, I'm a big fan of Smith Rowe. I like the way he plays. It's just his injury problems. He's going to be like another Jack Wilshere. got all the talent, but just his injuries might catch up. But he's played well. He scored for Fulham already. They've also got a man that loves to play against us, Traore, Adama Traore. He always likes a game.
He causes me nightmares. He does.
Yeah, honestly. They've got Pereira. Is it Pereira as well? Who's a good player. They've got that new striker as well. I can't think of his name. Is it Rodrigo? Is it or Moon? Is it Rodrigo? Quite a lot. Yeah.
I think they're in a similar sort of thing to it. They sort of seem to have them players. They sort of seem to be gathering these players that were on the brink of making it at the top, but didn't quite get there. Do you know what I mean? Like people like Traore. Traore went to Barcelona, didn't quite make it there. Was at Wolves, been touted around, was meant to go to Tottenham. Looking at Arsenal were looking at him at one point.
I don't know why Moyes never signed him. I really don't. He
would have been perfect for Boys. Yeah, I don't understand why he didn't get him. And he went for a free in the end. I think he would have been a perfect Antonio replacement. But
yeah.
Somebody asked me what I was drinking. Sorry, I'm drinking vodka and Rio. I was going to drink vodka and Coke, right? But I've picked up this Coke. Someone's left it on the side. Look at this. Have you ever seen?
Yeah,
Rio. So disgusting.
I had one the other day.
What do you think?
I had one the other day. Yeah, it just tastes like vanilla Coke to me. There's no.
I quite like vanilla Coke.
That chocolate Coke that makes my stomach turn. So I picked up the Rio.
Yeah, but why don't you try it? Because Brian said it tastes like vanilla Coke. So
I'll crack it. I'll crack it open. I'll tell you what it tastes like.
Yeah, let's give us a.
It's got like it tastes like vanilla, and then it's got like a little aftertaste of like you can taste like the chocolate.
It smells like arsehole.
How many arseholes do you sniff?
Yeah, Nick. That's the foot he came straight to. Yeah.
No. I'll tell you what. Like I ain't spoken about it. You want to see Graham last week with his dance moves in Butlins. He was on.
Did you get any videos?
I've got loads of videos. I can't share them though. He was on fire. He was loving life last week. It was a good weekend, man. Me and him were last man, two men standing on Survival Sunday. We're still dancing away at like 1 o'clock in the morning. It was just a brilliant weekend.
That is really grim. Sorry, but that is grim. that is a bad aftertaste, man. Ooh.
Yeah, I'd never heard of it. I'd never heard of it.
It's got a funny aftertaste, isn't it?
It has got that hint of vanilla, but it don't smell very. Maybe I shouldn't have smelled it before I taste it. But it's got a proper weird aftertaste. That. Yeah, that's not for me.
I tell you, I was seeing this song. This was Ryan's Cantora. Ryan doing the transfer videos and that song going.
No, do you know why? Because I just remember him under Bilic and he looked so good, and I thought, he'd be the bollocks. And to be fair, though, he did set up our first ever goal at the London Stadium in the Premier League. So he's in our history.
Yeah.
Do you remember when we saw him when he was when we was filming at Upton Park just before we was moving and he went in there? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I was so excited.
I remember a Turkish mate. I know his ass fan. He was like, "Oh my god, you got Gökhan Toure! Oh my god, he's going to be brilliant for you."
I remember my Turkish barber telling me about him. He got me all excited. He was going, he's going to do really well. He's going to score loads of goals. I was like, yes, boss, come on, do it. Get me hair done. I want to get down Upton Park and see him.
Well, London Stadium, yeah.
No, but he was at Upton Park when they were still at the ground, weren't they?
Yeah, they were still. I think they were still using the offices. They might have even been filming that film at the time. Do you remember when they was filming that film for a while?
I was like, come on, and then
with Batista, that was it. Yeah, Littlewoods, was it Littlewoods Cup?
Yeah, that was when I was little. Yeah,
Littlewoods.
Someone went it the Rumbelows Cup at one point.
Rumbelows Cup, yeah.
Fucking hell, do you remember Rumbelows? What did they even used to do?
So they used to do like washing machines and things like that.
Like I think things on credit, wasn't it, for poor people?
Yeah, you used to rent a telly and things like that.
Well, they put the 50p's in and that.
Oh, mate.
Jeez. Yeah, so... Andy made a good point. It was a comment I thought I started, but he was like talking about Arsenal kicking off over the Odegaard injury, sort of acting like they're the only players to bloody get an injury, and how a disgrace it is that Norway played him and all of that. And the actual, because of the backlash, the guy who done the tackle, I've never seen this before, he came out and apologised for the tackle that injured him. And you look at the tackle, it weren't even a bad challenge. It's obviously that Odegaard is got all of his weight on one foot, and his weight's kind of shifted, and he's done his ankle, he's rolled his ankle. And could you imagine like every player apologising when they've done a tackle and the players end up getting injured? I thought that was ridiculous. But the backlash he was getting was so strong, he had to.
It's going to be interesting on Sunday because obviously Rice is suspended. Odegaard looks like he's injured. There's a couple more players out. No wonder they give Arteta a new 3-year deal yesterday just to soften the blow. Over. I think we might. I could see. I've backed Tottenham to beat Arsenal in the syndicate thing we do in work. I've gone for 2-1 Tottenham.
I think with the players that are out, I think it's I don't think that's beyond.
Thing is, Arsenal still got the set piece threat, so Spurs need to.
The thing is with Arsenal, and this is the thing about them. You see it last week when Rice got sent off. I mean, it's a red card by the letter of the law. It had already been booked. The geezer went to take a quick free. Don't get me wrong. I think the geezer should have gone as well for the way he kicked him, but he kicked the ball away. That's the rule, yeah. And then the Arsenal fan. The thing is, they're so desperate for success. Yeah, they're so desperate because they know if they don't pip Man City to the title this season, I think there's going to be a couple of their players that are going to sort of start turning their heads. But like people like Lee Judges, and I love Lee Judges. Lee Judges is a good friend of mine, but people saying that they referee us different.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
When I see that,
with all due respect, they referee us different. Try supporting a team outside the top six and then see how fucking hard done by you feel.
Do you remember that season where we had like just an insane amount of red cards overturned? I can't remember what season it was. It was a few years ago. That was
the first season in the thingy, wasn't it? Right in the London Stadium.
No, I thought it wasn't it. I thought it wasn't it. I thought it was under Moyes. There was a time where we had, or was it? Yeah,
that was the one when when Souček got sent off against Fulham.
Oh yeah, do you remember? Fucking
and and I think Noble
against
Chelsea.
Noble got sent off as well, and it got rescinded. I think there was one at Leicester away. I think that was the Balbuena one. I know Balbuena was against Chelsea, wasn't it? There was one at Leicester away that got overturned as well. But yeah,
it was crazy the amount. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, they referee us different, and they're just so much in their bubble. They think there's this weird conspiracy, like to stop Arsenal winning anything. I don't know why they would.
I think we're all in that same sort of boat at times, aren't we? We all look at the team and go, like, nobody gets decisions like that, but everyone does over the course of the season. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I do think there's like, some teams like Man United get it swayed towards them. But remember when I think it was last season at Boleyn, the amount of decisions that we got against us. Do you remember the goal against Leicester? I think it was a goal against Leicester, wasn't it? When it went over the line or didn't go over, was it something like that? When they beat us 4-2 at home. And then, there was all sorts of decisions like going, especially towards the end of the season. But yeah, I think everyone gets, I don't think the top six are hard done by at all. They're the brand. So for one of them to come out and say we're refereed different, come on, Lee.
Yeah, like this.
I do agree with some of the comments in the thing, though. I think Rice's red card was a bit harsh. I know it's letter of the law, but it was harsh. It weren't exactly like the Manfield. He sort of, as he was running away, everyone does it. It's just a little tap away. It was only Danny Welbeck grassing him up, meant to be his mate.
The only problem with that is, I think, with the red card is that I think earlier on in the game, one of the Brighton players proper roofed it up the field, and he never got a card. But
but I think the thing is, what I think they was saying with that, with the Brighton one, because of the motion of the game, you could give him benefit. You could actually give benefit of the doubt that he was late and he was in motion. He didn't hear the whistle, right? You could give, even though there's a chance it wasn't that, there was still room for that interpretation. Whereas with this one, It was clearly blown up as a foul. There was time. Rice had looked behind him. He stood in front of him. He knows what he's doing. And the Arsenal fans, they thought they were clever, showing like this clip of Rice doing it against them for West Ham. And all that showed is, Rice does this sort of thing.
Rice does it,
not realising that the rule is they'd have come in and said they're going to clamp down on delayed restarts this season.
But I think that's the problem with the Premier League is that they've got, with the VAR and stuff, they've got so many problems at the same time. And then they choose like these one or two things a season that they're trying to clamp down on. And halfway through it, they just give it up anyway. Like, I think the one this season is the kicking the ball away, which is like, it goes on. It's been going on through football forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're trying to keep the game flowing. It ain't that
deep, Dan, when you think about how many ball boys they've got round the fucking pitch nowadays. You know what I mean? As quick as they can kick it away, there's someone that can chuck it back on. Yeah, and then the other one is
time wasting, though, Nick.
It is time wasting, yeah. But you know, it can be done all different ways with the goalkeeper pulling his socks up every time he goes to take a goal kick and going to there's all different ways to do it. And then the other one they've clamped down on this season is pulling the shirts in the penalty area. The only thing that does is it just creates more inconsistency because one person will do it and the other person won't do it. It happens in the same game. He'll see one thing and he won't see the other thing. Sort the fundamentals out first. You know, things like VAR. You know, concentrate on getting that right before you start piss balling around. I've never understood the one where they get booked if they take their shirt off.
Yeah, I don't get that.
And that's been in place for years. Like, there's some stupid rules in football, honestly.
I like the passion, do you know what I mean? And that's what they seem to try and clamp down on with the celebrations, is like the emotion and the passion in the celebration, and you can't take your shirt off.
It was I think it was initially it was because it delayed the restart. But then they will check it for 4 minutes now. The geezers have got time to go and have a shower and change into a new kit before they get started again.
Yeah, exactly. There
we go.
You know what I mean? It's it is a bit of a joke. Rick Part says, impressive our transfer window. Think we could win the league if we can get Cotty and McAvenny up front.
Cool, yeah.
If only.
I don't think you get partnerships like that anymore, do you? It's all
no
teams say one up top now, so you don't get them strike.
Sacco Valencia was a bit of a partnership. Was the closest thing, but those were the ones that back in the days. Alan Shearer, Michael Owen, and those classic partnerships. You miss. Full Krug had his most injury-free period last 3 years, an impact sub. Prior to that, his record is comparable to Andy Carroll's. Scary when you look at both sides of the transfer market. You can't read, I think, too much into it. Hopefully,
it's a smaller club.
Yeah, so we'll have to see. Obviously, he's not going to be played into the ground for us, I don't think.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, though, man, he got his criticism, and I felt sorry for him sometimes. Andy Carroll, when he was fit, man, I loved Andy Carroll. I know people hated him, but that season last at the Bowling, he was unplayable that season, man. He was that hat trick against Arsenal. I see that the other day. I was watching Premier League years, and they showed that game, and that still gives me goosebumps. That game, man.
I think that was his pinnacle.
I cried. I think I got more emotional at that game than I did the last game at the Bowling, because I remember that noise when he scored the third goal. That was loud. That was one of the loudest.
That was one of the most excited for a transfer I've been. Like, I remember me and Jace were in the gym, and Wood Green was on the treadmill, and then Mum told us we're signing Carroll, and we was buzzing, and all the way home to East London we talked about it, because it was like, wow, Big Sam's got he's got his perfect striker. Like, imagine what he could do. Like, and we thought it was going to be brilliant. And then he was injured.
Remember that time when we played Man United at home, and he took the run from the edge of the box, and he just cleaned fucking what's his name? The goalkeeper, De Gea.
Yeah.
Cleaned him out.
Made him a man, that game, mate, because he was shaky.
He was a bully, man. I'd hate to be a centre back playing against Andy Carroll. That geezer just.
I don't think Sam. I think he was Sam's ideal player. I think he loved him. But I don't think Sam done him any favours, because I think he tried to bring him back too early a few times. He had very limited.
Remember that time when he made his comeback game and he waited 10 minutes and he subbed him on? I don't even know who he took off. I think it was Cole. Was it Colton Cole he took off? Or
he played Cole, And then after 10 minutes, he brought him on. And Cole was like, I remember Cole just sort of looking at him, like putting his hands up, thinking, like, what the fuck? He just couldn't wait to get him on. That was a problem.
That's why Saka used to get the ump, because it's like, no matter how good he was, like, whenever Carroll would come back, Carroll would go straight back into the team.
Back in, yeah.
But he was. I remember his debut when we played Fulham at home, and he just, like, we was 3-0 up at half time or something like that. I think he set up 2 goals, and I thought, oh, what a player. And then he was out for about 4 months.
4 months, yeah.
Yeah, it was so frustrating. And then he was like, I'm doing yoga now, I'll be fit. Still wasn't. And that his last season at West Ham was one of the worst performances of a player.
I think go on, mate.
Last time I see Andy Carroll, he was out of his nut in Alkmaar. Dancing.
Yeah. We was in the stand with him.
Yeah, I still think he holds a little bit of. I think he loves West Ham, but I think he still holds a little bit of resentment to the fans in a way of how he was. Last interview I saw, he still sort of harps on it of how the fans treated him at times. And I think it's just like he says, he didn't want to be injured, which is true, but from a fan, it's so
frustrating. It's
frustrating, yeah. Because you rely on a player so much, like him. He's at the time he was on like 90 grand a week, which was by far our highest paid player at the time, and he was just hardly ever available. We couldn't rely on him, and it was just so frustrating.
It was the way he played, though. He played with venom. You know what I mean? He was one of them players that were just charging like a ball everywhere. You know what I mean? And like in this day and age, with the way football is. It's no good on the body, and but that was the thing that
attracted him enough. Well, he weren't passionate.
There's a few players like that. There's a few.
Yeah, he just didn't have that in him. You know what I mean? That's he's gonna train, and get himself in, do everything he can, because I think he was just naturally talented. He wasn't someone that was really he wasn't like a Ronaldo type. He didn't have that mentality. And if he had the mentality to go with the ability, he could have been something else.
He was just basically like he was like a lad playing football, wasn't he? He loved the booze. He loved to go out with his mates. He was just unfortunate with his injuries. But
that season when him and Winston Reid got injured together, and there was rumours about them like hanging from a balcony and dropping down to the piss.
I've heard that's true, and I've heard that's what sort of ended Reid's career. Was that injury?
Yeah, I've heard that is as well.
Reid was a weird one, man. Reid was dry. Reid was as dry as a desert. Never took to that geezer, man.
Yeah, but he was so good when he was good. Like when he was good, man.
No, he was a good player, but in terms of like interviews, interactions with fans.
Oh yeah.
Anything. But there we go. Should we start wrapping it up? Because I've got something to do. Do you want to do predictions or what? What do you want to wrap up with?
Yeah, what are we saying? Let's have a look. Fulham, West Ham. I'm saying 2-0 West Ham. I'm bold. I'm nervous, but I think we can do it. 2-0 West Ham.
I'm going to go 3-1.
Yeah, do you know what? I'll just double check. That's the score I've gone for in my predictions. 3-1 West Ham. I went 3-1 at West Ham against Palace and we won 2-0. So it won't surprise me if we win 2-0 tomorrow. But yeah,
a little Bowen double.
Just.
I think, you know what? I'll even take a 1-0 scrappy win just to get the 3 points on the ball. I want to see good performance.
We got that a couple of years ago when we were scrapping for points, didn't we? Went there and got a little 1-0 when they was in good form.
I fancy it's good performance tomorrow. 3-1 win. Move us up to 6 points, and hopefully that'll put us like mid-table, So
yeah.
And then obviously we've got Liverpool away in the cup next week, and then a big. Oh no, that's the week after. So we've got Chelsea next, and then Liverpool's the 25th, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, 25th, 26th, something like that.
Yeah. So
we can get it. I'm looking forward to Chelsea at home next week. I'm obviously going to it. My first time I've been West Ham since fucking Nottingham Forest at home last season, back in early November. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It'd be good.
If we lose, you can bloody knock out. You can stay away, right? If we lose,
the last game I went, we beat Forest, and we lost to you've lost to City and Villa at home this season, so you can't.
Yeah, that's true.
To be fair,
if we beat Chelsea,
it might be my boy. I think it might be my boy. I think it might be my boy's the curse, because I'll tell you what, I took into some games last season and I've got walloped a lot of times. You know what I mean? And I turned around to him and said, like, he come to the Arsenal game, he come to the Fulham game. There was another one when we lost 5-0 he come to as well. So he went to all them games. He might have done, yeah. He might have gone to Palace. Yeah, he did go to Palace. Yeah, he did come with me to Palace. But he went to about 3 or 4 games where we got absolutely annihilated, and a couple of home games as well where we got beat. And I said to him, "You're not coming anymore. You got a season ticket this season, and the first 2 games he's been to, we've been beat."
I think I need to bring my daughter back. The last season she had with me was the last at Upton Park, and that was a brilliant season.
There you go. Someone wants to know, Nick, man. They wants to know if you drink Prime.
Do you know what? Yeah, I did. I had a case of it the other day. It was nice.
Do you know what?
A case? Fucking hell.
Do you know what? I've never had. I've never drunk a drop of Prime.
It's not. It tastes like medicine. It's really weird.
I don't. They've gone downhill because they were selling it up the farm shop the other day for £5 a case.
Who was that bloke? Who was that bloke? What's his name? He used to sell
Wakey Wine.
Wakey Wines.
Wakey,
yeah. Who got there? He's go. You got your Prime. He goes. You got a good dad there, son.
Yeah, he goes.
£1,000 on 10 Primes.
Yeah, and £500 or whatever. It'd just be ridiculous prices. He would just shout out.
Yeah, he's like that. You got your W kid. You got your Prime. You got your Mr. Beast chocolate. You got a good dad there, son. He goes, what's the best shopping?
You got your boss man sweets.
Yeah.
yeah. So I can't believe Nicky drank a case of it. But he must. No,
I didn't drink the whole case. I just had a case of it. I might have some of it in the garden, but
that's what I was thinking. Fucking hell, what, you just drank a case of Prime? You must have been buzzing for the day. You must have been.
It's only like a Lucasade, like a Lucasade Sport.
Them cones must have been going down quick, mate, on the roads.
I'm not juggling them.
Fucking done a night shift in an hour.
No, man.
No, they're not like energy drinks. They're not like Red Bulls or whatever. They're like Lucasade Sports.
They're getting sued like that.
I've never really been one for energy drinks like Red Bull and Monster and all that. I don't really drink them.
Back in the day, I used
to have the odd occasional vodka and Red Bull back in the day, but I wouldn't go to the shop and buy one. Like,
I always liked a Lucasade Sport. You know, when you used to get it in the foil packet.
When I used to play football, we used to eat the raw jelly cubes for sugar.
Jaffa cakes.
Yeah, fucking hell, man. Half-time orange. What was that? What was that half-time orange about? Don't do fuck all. Manager used to walk around giving you half-time orange. You used to be like, yeah.
Scott didn't. Scott didn't even used to wash the bottles out of water bottles.
Scott didn't turn up half the time.
It used to taste like feet.
Oh, that's
I'll tell you a story about how loyal Scott was to his team. Right, there was one time he was our manager. Yeah, he managed our team, and we played. It was a first, second, third, and fourth team. We played for the third team. Yeah, so he was the manager for the third team. So we was all sitting in the changing room. Right, he's giving a team talk. The second team was playing on the pitch next door. Right, Scott was still playing at the time, so he was player manager. He popped his head in the door. He went, "We're defender down. Does anyone want to come?" Scott dropped the team talk. He went, "Yeah, I'll come." I walked out. Do you remember that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll come and play. He was our manager.
He was dragging his boot bag across the fucking.
Yeah, we thought.
Are you sure you weren't like just really shit, and he was just like, "Nah, fuck these lot."
I played in a charity game 2 weeks ago with Graham played as well, and I thought, I'm only going to play 10 minutes. We turned up, there was like a bare 11, so I had to play the full 90 minutes. The only sub we had was like a massive geezer who loved the fag, and he didn't want to come on. And it was a good game. We won 7-3. It was at Tilbury Football Club. And I got a free kick outside the box, and I hit it, and I hit the crossbar. I was so gutted. I really wanted it to go in. I wanted to score so bad. And I thought, and because Lee Hodges played, I'll tell you what a player he is. He is such a good player still, man, Lee Hodges. brilliant. And it was good. It was good. It was good laugh, good to play. But yeah, I think that's it for me now. Retirement. I'm done.
You need to take the picture. You need to take the Alonso picture with the boots and the hand.
Honestly, the worst thing for me was stopping at half time. Because when I went in that change room, my legs just sort of seized up. Went out the second half. It got to about 70 minutes, and I was thinking, I was going to ref, come on, blow, ref, come on, charity. But no, it was good. It's good.
My legs don't work anymore. I've had injuries, but I'm telling you now, right? I went to play one charity game. It's been many years since I played properly, and I went to play what was it called? The Claude Cup? Is it the Claude Cup?
Yeah.
So they invited me to go and play for that, right? And I went out there, and I felt good at first. I thought to myself, yeah, you know what I mean? It's like 15 years I ain't kicked a ball for. I should be all right. Like my injury should have. I went out there. I took 3 shots. I run straight back in. As I blasted the ball over, I run straight to get the ball, and I saw the change room. I thought, that's it. That's me done. I couldn't. Honestly, I could not move.
Yeah, you injured yourself in the warm up, didn't
you? Yeah. That was it.
It's like when I play on a Monday night in 7-a-side. Like, you know, you get these youngsters now. When I first started playing over there, it was like people like a little bit older than me. So like, it was a good standard. Like, but now they're getting younger and younger, and I've got like 19-year-olds. Like, once they knock it past you, I don't even try. Don't even try to chase them anymore. It's not worth it because I won't walk for a week.
I couldn't catch him when I was 20, right? I'm not going to catch him when I'm 40.
I had a bit of a fucking thing over there because he knocked it past and he was laughing. I went, what are you laughing at? He was like, I went, mate. I said, how old are you? He went, 19. I went, I'm 40. I said, when I was your age, I said, you wouldn't even got anywhere near that fucking ball, man. I would have fucking took you out if I could fucking get near you. But I still mix it up with them. I love winding them up. But that's good. It just gives me something to look forward to on a Monday night, you know, start of the week. You know, you're getting older. It's hard. It's hard to, because I come home and I'm aching. I can't walk and it hurts. It hurts that I can't because I'm getting older now. That I can't do the stuff that I used to do when I was younger. But it's part of life, isn't it? You're growing up, but I'm still enjoy it. I'm not. I can't do that walking football. Because I'd be running all the time.
Did you ever see the Father Ted episode where he manages the old boys, the walking team? And he's got the guy in the wheelchair and he's got the remote control under. He's controlling him, and it's fucking brilliant. Right? That's what you should get on, Nick.
I'd like to do walking football because I reckon even if I was running, they wouldn't be able to tell.
I think you might be slow for walking football, Nick. Because how many times, right, we were walking and you look like where the fuck you. True. And remember we used to walk to the carpenter's
That is the best insult I've ever heard. You're too slow for walking football. You might as well be sitting down.
Do you remember we used to walk to the Cart and Horses, the film post-match Pint? You'd be walking, you look back.
Dan. I was 10 stone heavier and I've got fucking rods holding my knees together.
Just on the wing in walking football, and he goes past an electric scooter to catch up with him. Didn't they used to do walking football before the games at the London Stadium?
On the pitch next door.
Yeah, they used to do like West Ham. Oh man!
I might give it a go.
I'd love to say we should film it. We got to film it.
So, I see I've got Rod's holding me knees. Someone's called me Rodney.
Rodney.
New plonker.
Right, I've got to go, boys. I've got to leave.
Thank you for watching. Like I said, look out if we do get Nicky on walking football, we will film it for your entertainment and put it on the channel. Look at all the content after the Fulham game. One thing left to say: come on, you Irons!
Come on, you Irons!